Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series. This is the 6th of 32 episodes of the series of college basketball men's conference tournament previews and predictions. And now up will be the Ohio Valley Conference. We did NEC, Atlantic Sun, Horizon, Patriot League, and Big South. So if you want to go check those out, you can do so on the podcast list. So Ohio Valley Conference is now up. Interesting conference to say the least. So you're one seed in the tournament with a record of 28-2 on the season, 18-0, number 22 ranked in the country, Murray State. They only had 2 losses all season long. Won to East Tennessee State from the SoCon Conference, and their other defeat was at the hands of Auburn, who is among one of the very best teams in college basketball this season. So Murray State is just for real can get. Your 2 seed, 15-3 in conference play, 25-6 on the season, Belmont. Your 3 seed, 21-10 on the year, 13-5 in conference play, Morehead State. Your 4 seed, 13-17 on the year, 8-9 in conference play, Southeast Missouri State. Your 5 seed is Tennessee State, 13-17 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. Your 6 seed, Austin Peay, 12-16 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. Your 7 seed, Tennessee Tech, 10-20 on the year, 7-10 in conference play. And your 8 seed, SIU Edwardsville, 11-20 on the season, 5-13 in conference play. Tennessee Martin did not qualify, 8-22 on the year, 4-14 in conference play, and neither did Eastern Illinois, 5-26 on the season, and 3-15 in conference play. So the tournament will begin on Wednesday, March 2nd, 7:30 Eastern. You have 8-seeded SIU Edwardsville and 5-seeded Tennessee State. Edwardsville has one of the better scorers in the conference on their team in Rayshawn Taylor, averaging almost 18 a game. And Tennessee State is very balanced. 4 guys averaging double digits per game scoring, led by Carlos Marshall Jr. My projections for this game, Tennessee State by 3 3/4, total 138 8/10. So therefore, I have Tennessee State advancing to the quarterfinals. And the last of the 2 first-round games, which would be at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7-seeded Tennessee Tech and 6-seeded Austin Peay. Tennessee Tech's usually a doormat in this conference, not this year. 3 guys averaging in double-digit points per game, led by Junior Clay. And for Austin Peay, who's a team that made the tournament a few years ago, couple guys in double-digit scoring per game as well, led by Elijah Hutchins Everett. Big man. Projection is Austin Peay by 2 7/8, total 138 3/4. So therefore, I have Austin Peay advancing, led by Hutchins Everett. Quarterfinals. And by the way, this tournament's being held at the Ford Center in Evansville, Illinois, the home of Evansville basketball in the Missouri Valley. So it's kind of ironic that Ohio Valley Conference uses Evansville's home court for their tournament. So the quarterfinals, Thursday, March 3rd, projected 5-seeded Tennessee State and 4-seeded Southeast Missouri State. Projection is Southeast Missouri State by a quarter. SEMO, as they would call themselves, led by Eric Reed Jr., 16 a game. I think that they will advance to the semifinals. And the second of 2 quarterfinal games, 6-seeded Austin Peay and 3-seeded Morehead State. Morehead State, good year this year in the OVC, led by Johnny Broome with 16.5 per game. My projection is Moorhead by 7.75, and therefore I have them advancing to the semifinals. The first of two semifinals, and which would be Friday, March 4th. Four-seeded Southeast Missouri State and one-seeded Murray State. Murray State, we talked about them at the top of the program where I introduced all the teams. They're so good. Led by KJ Williams and Tevin Brown. I really think this team is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the big dance if they get there. My projections, Murray State by 11.5. And I believe that they'll advance to the championship game. And the other semifinal, you have 3-seeded Moorhead State and 2-seeded Belmont. Belmont's a perennial contender in the OVC. Two really good players. Ben Shepard's averaging about 16 a game, and the man in the middle, Nick Nizinski, averaging almost 16 a game as well. My projection for Moorhead Belmont is Belmont by 4.75. Therefore, Belmont to the championship, which is Saturday, March 5th, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2. 2-seeded Belmont, 1-seeded Murray State. Great matchup. A ton of great players. Mizinski is going to be really a problem in the middle for Murray State in the paint. But I really think that they have strong guard play. And I think Williams can match Mizinski from Murray State. And I project Murray State as a 1 3/8 favorite here, as I believe that Murray State will come through and win the 2022 Ohio Valley Conference Tournament to punch a ticket to the big dance. So this is where things get a little bit interesting. Murray State, are they a lock to make the tournament? I think they are, actually. I earlier said on the show, if they make it, they should make it, even if they lose in the semis or in the championship. I think that this is going to be a 4 or 5 seed potentially. But if they lose in the semis, then I can see it being like a 7 or an 8 seed. And if they lose in the championship game, I could see them being at worst a 6 seed. Maybe a 7 if some other results happen. So I think Murray State's your only at-large here in this conference. And I think their big threat to not win the auto bid here is Belmont. And some of these bubble teams really got to keep your eye on Belmont to potentially steal the Ohio Valley. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. So the OVC Tournament Odds I have in front of me, Murray State's a minus 175 favorite. Belmont's plus 240. But if I had to go with the value play to win this conference tournament, it would be amazingly enough, you could argue for SIU Edwardsville at 500-1 because they have one of the better scorers in the conference on their team in Rayshawn Taylor. But as a more realistic or long shot, I would say Southeast Missouri State, led by Eric Reed Jr. So I would lay the minus 175 in a parlay here. If you want to parlay some of these conference tournament winners. But if I had to go with a value play here, I wouldn't rule out Southeast Missouri State at 18-1, led by Reed. And Belmont at plus 240 is a good bet too. But if Belmont was 5-1 or something, I'd be all over that. But Murray State I really like to win this conference. And I think 175 is the right price for Murray State in this conference tournament. So there you have it for the Ohio Valley Conference Tournament. And next up is another good one, the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. So that should be a fun one as well.